Good morning, and as I invite you to join me in a word of prayer, I invite our gentlemen to remove their caps, please. Let us pray. Gracious and loving Creator, as we gather here today, still at the dawn of a new academic year, we give thanks for the gift of this gathering. We ask for your blessing on all gathered here. Grant students the courage to lean into their studies and activities with confidence and curiosity and resilience. And grant the faculty and staff who teach and guide the wisdom to inspire students to think deeply, act justly, and live compassionately. May this college continue to be a place that imparts not only knowledge, but also experiences within which students find their true selves. Help us to build a community rooted in respect, kindness, and understanding. And let us be mindful of the diversity around us, appreciating the unique stories and experiences that each person brings to this shared space. In the spirit of unity and growth, we ask for your presence among us today and in all the days to come. Amen. I invite you to be seated, and please be sure your phones are on silent.
Thank you, Reverend Ford. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Dr. Andrea Milner, Vice President and Dean of Academic Affairs at Adrian College. I would like to thank all of you for attending our opening convocation in the James Moreland Convocation series for the academic year 2024-2025. At this annual fall convocation, we have the honor of hearing from outstanding leaders from the academic, political, social, and business community. Our guest today is Mr. Mike Bell, who is the co-chair of the Financial Institution Practice Group at Hanegemn. We will also hear from faculty and the student government president, as well as meet new faculty, congratulate faculty newly promoted, and recognize the achievements of 3 faculty for teaching, scholarly, and research accomplishments. I am pleased to introduce someone you all know well, Adrian College's 17th president, Dr. Jeffrey R. Docking.
Thank you, Dr. Milner, and welcome to another great academic year at Adrian College, especially our distinguished speaker today, Mike Bell, Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty, administration, and perhaps most importantly, our students. You are a fantastic class, 600 strong, been here 20 years. You come in with the best academic credentials of any class that's been admitted since I've been here. And hey, you're putting up with 95-degree days in those dorms. I hear it's toasty over there. Dean Doney tells me that the Box fans are running strong. But I think the worst is over. It's been in the 50s in the morning when I come in, so hopefully you can get a good night's sleep. But I do appreciate you putting up with old dorms that don't have AC in them yet. Let me make a few remarks about our speaker, Mike Bell, before he's formally introduced later. Mike Bell, students, is one of you. He's an alumnus of Adrian College. He comes from humble beginnings. You'll learn that he achieved great success the old-fashioned way. He worked real hard. And he went to college, and he grinded it out, and he said there are no excuses for not getting ahead in life. And now he gives back to our Board of Trustees. He's been on the board for 4 years. Many of you don't know that I actually do have a boss of 32 people, our board, and Mike is a member of that board and has been absolutely fantastic. And I just want to mention 3 things as I look at Mike's life and other successful people that I would impart to you today that I hope you students will keep in mind as you try to achieve success throughout your own life. Just 3 things. The first thing to do is to surround yourself with impressive and successful people like Mike Bell. And ask yourself, How did they get to be successful? What did they do? How do they interact with people? How do they carry themselves and conduct themselves? And what can that teach me as a young college student that I don't already know? Surrounding yourself with great people raises your game. And we all know that we've been in groups before, myself included, in which I thought, I can do better than this. But it really is a conscious decision to try to be around people that inspire you, that challenge you, and that pull you up. Make that a habit of your heart. The second thing that you'll learn from people like Mike Bell is that it's very important, students, to take a little bit of time each day. And I know this is tough with computers and Instagram and Facebook and all the different social media coming your way, but take time every single day to self-reflect just a little bit. Who am I? Why do I do what I do? Do I like what I've said today? Do I like myself? Do I say things that edify the world, or do I gossip and pull the world down gratuitously? Does my to-do list each day move me closer to who I want to be in this life? Move me closer to being a successful person? Or is my to-do list totally separate from who I want to be? And if they're not matching up, then think about that and reflect on it and change. You're at a time in your life when you can change. And you're in this community of scholars surrounded by these amazing professors who care about you and have dedicated themselves to this job so that they can impart some of this wisdom to you. But it's up to you to learn it. Self-reflect each day. And then the third thing that I would suggest will separate you from the pack is to commit yourself to being a very curious person. Curiosity is exciting. This world that we live in is such a curious place to be. But be curious about some of the things I mentioned before. I mean, how can I be better? Not only how can I be better in the classroom, but how can I be better on my athletic team? How can I be a better member of student government? How can I be a better member of our student symphony? How can I be a better son or daughter or sister or brother? How can I be better? And those are curious questions. Be guided by curiosity, and I think you'll be excited by curiosity. And I do think you live in an environment at this school in which our DNA is curious. We looked at Mahan Hall 5 years ago, students, and said, we have a boxy gray building with bad windows and a lot of things wrong with it. Just curious, how can we make this better? Now it has a beautiful art gallery on it, which I encourage you to avail yourself to. We've been curious in recent years about our music program. We know a lot of students are going into business, we want to support the liberal arts, and so we said, how can we create a music program that's better? And Jim Mahoney, our Vice President for Development, went out and got a couple of very, very big donations, and now we have an incredible Steinway piano that was just shipped here from New York a few weeks ago. We were curious and we made it better. And here's something else you may want to be curious about, because you'll be seeing this coming together. We are in the process of putting together a new recording studio because we want to start Bulldog Records. And we think that would be a cool thing to do, to not only enhance your educational experience, but to make our music program better. And then finally, of course, our athletic complex. And if you haven't been curious about the new indoor field going in out by the baseball field, you ought to be, because it's going to be incredible. But we were curious about how do we create a situation where students never have to worry about the weather with respect to soccer, rugby, lacrosse, even football practice. We said, you know what? The answer is an indoor field. with a track around it. So that's what's going in out there. But all of these things have made the school better because we were curious. Be curious. So surround yourself with good people, self-reflect daily, and be curious, and you too will enjoy a wonderfully successful life like our speaker today. Thank you and have a good year.
Thank you, President Docking. Next to welcome you is our faculty representative, Dr. Kristen Clark. Dr. Clark?
Good afternoon, I'm Dr. Clark. On behalf of the faculty, it is my pleasure to welcome back all of our students, faculty, and staff for another amazing academic year. As today's convocation progresses, you will be introduced to several of the faculty who will be recognized for their outstanding accomplishments. These will take the form of promotion in rank, tenure, and 3 faculty awards acknowledging recipients' teaching and research. As we celebrate the Ribbons of Excellence ribbon, Developing Creativity, these accomplished professors, and in fact all of our professors here at Adrian College, incorporate some form of developing creativity into our mindset and throughout our curriculum every day. The faculty is only one segment of Adrian College. Today we convene with everyone who makes up the Adrian College community, from the Board of Trustees to President Docking, to the administrative staff who run the day-to-day operations of the college, from the plant staff and personnel to our students, both returning and new to the college. No segment of this body is more important than the other. Without one, we have none. Collectively, we have a community, a family, and an experience to last a lifetime.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. Aubrey Morgan, President of the Student Government, will now welcome the students and faculty back to campus. Aubrey.
Thank you, Dr. Milner. Welcome back, students, faculty, staff. I hope this academic year has started off strong for all of you. George Adler once said, "The best things in life are on the other side of fear." I want to encourage all of you to take this year as an opportunity to try new things and keep an open mind. For freshmen beginning their first year in college, the new experiences you take on can be scary and intimidating. But I want to assure you, the best is yet to come, and these feelings will soon pass. You will find that once new and unfamiliar campus will begin to feel like home and a place you can escape to. And for the seniors who may be unsure of where they will go after leaving Adrian, I want to encourage all of you to be brave as you enter the new year of the unknown. It holds so many opportunities to continue to grow and learn, and I know you will continue to rise to any challenge thrown your way. Make this last year an occasion that's purposeful and enjoyable, and rise to your future ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aubrey. At this time in the proceedings, the new faculty, newly promoted, and tenured faculty are recognized. As I introduce our new faculty, please hold your applause until all names have been read. Professors, please rise and remain standing as I read your name. Danielle Gilbert, Teacher Education. Krista Schindel, Teacher Education. Dr. Alex Martin, Chemistry and Biochemistry. Dr. Ian Steinke, Chemistry and Biochemistry. Dr. Christopher Rogers, Accountancy, Business, and Economics. Jenna Cleary, Accountancy, Business, and Economics. Patty Hidgen Dudley, Art and Design. Dr. Malak Bazi Abbas, Biology. Welcome. It is my pleasure to introduce them. It's my honor to welcome you all. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce faculty who have achieved one of the highest honors in the Academy, promotion and tenure. Would the faculty please rise as your name is called? Again, please hold your applause until all names are read. Faculty newly promoted to the rank of Assistant Professor, Brittany Cole, Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Faculty newly promoted to the rank of Associate Professor, Jody DeMarco, Department of Social Work. Faculty newly promoted to the rank of Associate Professor with tenure, Dr. Jennifer Towns, Department of Social Work. Dr. Cheryl Nutter, Department of Accountancy, Business and Economics. Faculty newly promoted to the rank of Full Professor, Dr. Yasser Al-Ganahi, Department of Computer Science. Faculty newly promoted to the rank of Full Professor with tenure, Dr. Christy Boxer, Department of Sociology and Criminal Justice. Dr. Doran Dumitrowsku, Department of Mathematics. Dr. Cedric Hero, Department of Sociology and Criminal Justice. On behalf of President Docking, the administration, and the entire Adrian College community, congratulations on your promotions, and to our new faculty again, welcome to our family. Now I will announce this year's Teaching Award recipients. The first award is the Ross Newsom Award for Outstanding Teaching, which honors the memory of Ross Newsom, class of 1936, and is sponsored by his sons Don and the late Ron Newsom. This year's Ross Newsom Award for Outstanding Teaching is presented to Dr. Kristen Clark. Dr. Clark, if you would please join the president on stage. Dr. Kristen Clark is an associate professor of music. She earned her doctorate in voice performance from the University of Michigan, where she also completed master's degrees in choral conducting and voice performance and a bachelor's degree in music education. Dr. Clark has appeared as a soloist throughout the United States, as well as in Canada, Italy, Ukraine, Russia, and Estonia. She most recently performed as a soloist in Carnegie Hall in the summer of 2024, a performance that was joined by 30 Adrian College choir members. She also performed a featured role on an album that received a Grammy nomination for Best Operatic Performance. During her time here at AC, she founded the Women's A Cappella Ensemble, which performs frequently on and off campus, including at Tigers and Pistons games. Some of the students' comments on her course evaluation state, Dr. Clark's classes are always the highlights of my week. Dr. Clark did an excellent job teaching this course. She uses materials and references from several different sources in order to give us the best possible understanding of the languages and their rules, and always explains why. Today, we recognize Dr. Clark's excellent contributions to our campus community and to our student learning by awarding her the Ross Newsom Award for Outstanding Teaching. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Clark, an outstanding educator and colleague. Our second award is the Exemplary Teaching Excellence Award. Celebrating the achievements of many, we now celebrate the achievement of the 2024 recipient. This year's Teaching Excellence Award goes to Dr. Tom Muntean from the Department of Geology. Dr. Muntean, please join the president on stage. Dr. Tom Muntean joined Adrian College in 2011. Dr. Muntean began his career as an environmental geologist, where he worked for more than a decade designing and completing environmental remediation projects, primarily related to soil and groundwater contamination at the U.S. Department of Defense installations. However, his long-term desire was to teach geology and environmental science at an institution that held the academic values of Adrian College. While working as a professional geologist, Dr. Muntean completed his PhD in geoscience. During his time at Adrian College, Dr. Muntean helped redevelop and modernize the geology and environmental science curriculum. He has developed several new in-demand courses not previously offered at the college, and has served in numerous leadership roles, including serving his 4th year as the Ribbons of Excellence Program Director. His students have stated, Dr. Muntean is engaging and passionate about the topics, which radiates into the students. The material being taught applies to real-life scenarios, and I find myself assessing the world from a different point of view due to this course. This class has overall piqued my interest in the environment and world around me. Best class ever. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Muntean, an excellent educator and colleague. The Creative Activity, Research, and Scholarship Award was created to honor and recognize significant contributions to a faculty member's field of study. Awardees are celebrated for their work in the ways in which it embodies the college mission and ribbons of excellence. Professor Nathan Getting from the Department of Sociology and Criminal Justice is this year's recipient. Professor Getting, a well-respected member of the faculty, joined Adrian College in 2008. Professor Getting earned his Juris Doctor from Thomas M. Cooley Law School and earned his Master's of Arts in Philosophy from Western Michigan. Professor Getting is the director of the George W. Romney Institute for Law and Public Policy and is a full professor in the Sociology and Criminal Justice Department. His teaching and writing focuses on constitutional law and civil liberties. He has taught at 3 law schools, served as faculty advisor to the University of Toledo Law Review, and has published many writings, which some have been cited in law reviews. Professor Getting is also a contributing writer for Discourse magazine. Professor Getting was an integral part in bringing the debate series to Adrian College. His students have stated, I enjoy this professor and feels he challenges me academically and furthers my academic capability. Professor Getting is an awesome instructor. His class is very interesting and inclusive. He cares about his students and their success. Professor Getting is one of the best instructors at this college, and I am grateful to learn from him. He takes this job very seriously and wants to make sure his students understand the importance of the lessons. Please join me once again in congratulating this year's recipient of the Creative Activity, Research, and Scholarship Award, Professor Nathan Getting. It is my great honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Michael Bell, a leading figure in the financial institutions practice at Hahnemann. With a stellar career that has earned him national recognition, Mr. Bell is known for his pioneering work in credit union acquisitions, including the first ever purchase of a whole bank by a credit union in 2011. Over the past decade, he has successfully completed more than 50 M&A transactions, solidifying his reputation as the go-to legal advisor for financial institutions across the country. Mr. Bell's remarkable achievements have been recognized with numerous prestigious awards. He has been named a leading lawyer in banking and financial institutions law, mergers and acquisition law, and real estate law by Law Bulletin Media from 2014 to 2024. He was honored as a rising star by Michigan Super Lawyers and recognized as a leader in the law by Michigan Lawyers Weekly in 2017. His expertise in financial services regulation law also earned him recognition in the Best Lawyers in America for 2023. In addition to his professional accolades, Mr. Bell is a respected media contributor, sharing his insights with top publications like the Wall Street Journal, MarketWatch, and Bloomberg. His deep understanding of the financial services industry, coupled with his entrepreneurial spirit, allows him to provide strategic, tailored advice to clients ranging from individual entrepreneurs to publicly traded companies. Please join me in welcoming the highly accomplished Mr. Mike Bell.
Thank you. That was a lot. I appreciate it. I'm going to start by saying I love this place. I love this place when I was here. I loved it when I graduated and left in 2000, and I love it still. I'm glad you're here. Let's discuss some preliminary matters. The lawyer in me would say disclaimers. First, I don't have it all figured out. Second, I'm not the smartest person in this room. Please. That aside, I will tell you that I have some compelling thoughts that I want to share for you to consider. First, I believe in looking upward and in moving forward, and that's what we're going to talk about today. For me, upward means God. I'm not alone here. I didn't do this alone. In fact, I barely did this on my own. I did this with some help. Whatever your persuasion and belief system, I would suggest to you that upward means good, right? I think we could all agree on that versus downward. So I'm suggesting to you when I say upward, whatever your beliefs are, look to the good. Think of the good, look upward. The theme this year, I understand, for the Ribbons of Excellence is developing creativity. I think that applies here, and I would call it perhaps progress in life. That's what I want to talk to you about with those two themes in mind. Now, I'm not boasting. The introduction was far more than enough, but I do want to make this personal, and I want to share a couple things with you just so you have some context to appreciate the concept. So I was born and raised and lived in a very small town in southwest Michigan. I graduated from a high school with 89 other kids, right? Just a normal guy from a normal place. After I attended Adrian College, I was able to go to law school, and after law school, I walked into a job in that same small town with 2 other lawyers. I was the 3rd lawyer in a 3-man law firm in a town of 5,000 people in 2003, and I loved it, and it was great. Amazingly, today I stand here as introduced, as a partner in a law firm that's one of the 200 largest on the earth globally. It's a lot different than a 3-person firm in a small town. And it's weird to think about that that's occurred in essentially 21 years of time. But I can tell you that your progress in life, your ability to develop creativity, however you want to say it, is not controlled by certain things. Certain things just don't matter, in my opinion. It doesn't matter where you're from. In fact, professors, bear with me, but I'm going to suggest that ultimately your GPA or your grades aren't going to matter either. It's important here and now, but in your career path, I don't think it's going to matter. I love this place, but in the end, I don't think it matters where you went to school. I'll never forget when I joined this, or had the opportunity to join the law firm I'm joining. They reached out to me and said, "We want you." And I said, "No, you don't. I didn't go to an Ivy League school." They said, "We don't care." Right? It just doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter how many things you can memorize, etc., etc. But let me tell you what I think does matter. Your progress in life is controlled by looking upward and moving forward. Let's dig in here. I'm going to get Socratic with you, just like I'm a professor and just like my law school professors love to do. I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question, or I'm going to try. Look back on your life, everybody, right now. Think backwards. Think about something you did that at one point you thought was impossible. Just give it a second. Think about it. Right? Think about something you did that at one point felt impossible. But you ultimately did it, didn't you? This is something you can do over and over again. Here's the truth. Everything is impossible until it isn't. Think about that. Everything's impossible until it isn't. This can be as simple as running a mile or jumping into ice cold water or walking through a fire. I don't care, but everything is actually impossible until it's not. When do things become normal? Things become normal because someone refused to accept that it's impossible. Someone refused limitation. I remember when I came to Adrian College in my Pontiac Grand Prix, and I had a cell phone that was in a bag that I would hardwire into my car antenna that was on the back of my car. Some of you may remember those times. If you told me where we would be today and what would be in my pocket right now, I would say that's impossible, right? That's the easiest example of this. But somebody believed that it wasn't. I'm suggesting that you do the very same with your life. It does not have to be sensational. It doesn't have to be some new invention. You may feel it's already all been invented. I'm talking about simple, little things in day to day. You may say to yourself, I don't wake up early. I don't exercise in the morning. That's impossible for me. I don't. I'm going to suggest to you that that's actually false and you don't give yourself enough credit. Looking upward and aiming forward requires something that's very important, and that is movement. I believe in movement. I'm going to suggest to you that you should believe in movement. I think the difference between people who live their dreams and then the people who watch other people live their dreams isn't talent, it's not resources, it's not advantages, it's movement. The best thing you can do today, the best thing you can do tomorrow, the best thing you can do next week is give yourself the gift of movement. And I am not saying massive movement. I'm saying consistent, small steps. Think about going into a weight room, if you've ever done that, or starting an exercise program. You do it one day. How much change do you experience? You do it 2 days, right? 3 days. How about after 100 days? It's little incremental movement that moves you massively forward in life. And I'm suggesting, again, just give yourself that gift. And in fact, challenge yourself. There are plenty of times during the day when I don't want to move, meaning I don't want to do whatever it is I have to do. It doesn't matter if it's physical or mental. Remember this moment and make yourself do it. Watch the momentum and trajectory you will have. There's a question, it's found in the Bible, it's found in Esther chapter 4 that I think is so poignant. Again, I happen to believe it's the truth, but regardless of your belief systems, I think you will resonate with this point. Esther, who was a queen at the time, was on the cusp of making literally life or death decisions. Her uncle, who was also her caregiver, Mordecai, in the middle of this, right, this very difficult moment, this very difficult decision, asked her a question that I think is so powerful. I'm paraphrasing, right, so just go with me there. But he said to her, he said, Esther, what if you were made for this very moment? Right? Give that some thought. What if you were made for this specific space and time, at this specific decision, to make it and move forward? And I thought about that, and I ask you, what if you were made for this moment? In fact, I'm going to make a suggestion to you. I think you were. I think you were. Again, I think if you believe in it, you were created at a specific time and a specific place for a specific reason to be right here where you're sitting right now. If you have different belief systems, I'm going to suggest we are a world of order. Nothing happens by accident, in my opinion. And again, you were here and made for this very moment. With that in mind, don't waste it. Being made for this moment, don't waste the ability to look up and to move forward. Take it by the horns, they say. Grab it and go. Whatever it might be. Esther was made for that moment. She made a decision. She saved a race of people and herself. It's remarkable, sensational. You were too. In this moment, for which I'm saying you were intended, right now, in this place and time, give yourself that gift, that momentum, that inertia of movement. Look up, look to the good, and step forward, move forward. This is a perfect time to keep that in mind. You are starting fresh. Those in here that are freshmen, you're literally starting fresh. You're transitioning from one time in your life to the next. This is the best time for you to take this step. And get ready, because it's a lot of fun. If you're not a freshman like me, I've got a birthday coming up Friday. It's not in the 30s, not quite in the 50s. It's still a good moment, right? I got a lot to do. Based on my introduction, it sounds like I've done it all. I haven't. I've barely scratched the surface. I've got a lot to do. This day, I want to give myself that gift of looking up, moving forward, and giving myself a gift of movement. I love this place, like I said when I stood up here. I really do. I am so glad you chose to be here. It changed the trajectory of my life, and I think it can change yours too. The administration that's here, that's in the room as well, the professors that are here, they're all here for a reason. They were made for this moment. They're here to help you move forward in this moment. Have a great semester and year, and then trajectory here and career in life. It's been my pleasure to speak to you today. Thank you.